everybody, welcome to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Liveni, and please remember to subscribe, like and comment, because that's always the right thing to do. So I'm back with another book review. I'm going to be doing a whole lot of book reviews with you guys. Please make sure that you guys give me some suggestions. I love hearing suggestions from you guys. Today we're doing Keke Palmer, and the title of the book is called I Don't Belong to You. Now we all know that my favorite genre is autobiographies and memoirs. So yeah, I'm still not quite into novels yet, but I'm also open to anything that you guys can suggest for me. So yeah, so this book is an autobiography by her. If you don't know who Keke Palmer is, let me tell you. Okay, Keke Palmer is a child star. She has featured in some of my favorite movies, such as Aquila and the Bee. And she also had a talk show, I forget the name, but she was quite a big thing back in like 2006, 2007. And fun fact, I low-key looked like Keke, oh no, Keke Palmer looked like me. How's about that? When I was a kid, we kind of looked like each other, and then she grew up and became something else, and I grew up and it became something else. But I've always kind of been low-key like a fan of hers and been like, she's pretty. I do look like her. Anyway, that was then. That was like 10 years ago. So this is basically a story about her life, and let's get into it. Keke Palmer talks a lot. Like, yo, guys, this book is so heavy. And the font is so small. She's like going on and on and on. It's mostly good, but then sometimes I'm just like, girl, you just said that like 2 chapters ago. You just told us that, okay? We heard you, girl. This book was published in 2017. I love the colors that she chose. Are very bold. And it also kind of shows you the kind of personality that she has, and I think it's reflective in how in the colors that I used and the type of fonts that I used. And when you open the book, inside it also has like these things, these colors, which is very sort of like unconventional for books. It's not a common thing. And she also has emojis which I find quite interesting. So she has like heart emojis, crying emojis. Like, she's very extremely expressive, and I think this book is also like a representation of how millennials communicate. And I think she's a millennial, and she's owning it, because we communicate our feelings through emojis and social media. And so yeah, I think I love this book. I love this book because of how she's presented it as a body of work. Okay. So Keke, from a first chapter right through to a last chapter, she kind of brings us into when she was a child, the kind of dreams that she had, who she kind of wanted to be, and right through to social media and how she manages social media and what she thinks about social media. So there are a number of topics that she covers, because generally she is talking about her life. So she talks about how she got into acting, or essentially the media, how she got into Hollywood, and sort of the sacrifices that her parents had to make for her dreams to come true. She talks about breaking of virginity, because hey, child stars also are human beings who have vaginas and penises, okay? So, and it's sort of like always there's this thing of like there's especially when she's a kid star, and when she becomes an adult, people are always like on her case, like, oh my gosh, is she dating anybody? And she's always kind of felt like she needed to be this good girl all the time, when she actually was feeling some other type of way. She wanted to be more expressive of who she really was. And so she always had like the media that just sort of like dictating how she could act and who she could be. And so this book, she kind of owns her sexuality, her body, in a number of ways. She gets vulnerable with us in terms of like her thinking, about relationships, love, and all of those kinds of things, which I find quite interesting, because to be honest, as a fan of hers, who has been sort of like been part of her journey since she was a kid star, I think it was quite a nice thing to read about. You know, it's like, oh wow, shit, she goes through the same shit as I do. Interesting. Men are trash. Hashtag saying. Yeah, anyway, whatever hashtag. So she talks about a lot of things, and most of the things that she talks about, you can almost tell that she's in like a very her mental state is a very positive mental state. So even if she went through challenges of heartache or like really big disappointment, she talked a lot about just being able to sort of like overcome those things and become positive about those negative situations that happen in your life and make the best of them. So she kind of like has this very positive feels, positive vibes about her, you know. So which I really like a lot. So this book, I was like, yeah, she had a lot of nice quotes. Like she had a lot of things that she said in a way that just felt right, and so I just wanted to capture that. So let's read. Let's first read this one here. It's on page 23. It says, "Be ready to change your path while keeping your eye on your destination. When doing this work, you belong to yourself. There is no strict plans that you have to follow. If your narrative isn't working for you, you need to change your story and change what you are telling yourself about it." And I think this is where I'm at right now in my life, where it's like I have these ideas of who I am or who I thought I was or whatever. And the thing is, I'm in a different environment. I'm in America. I'm no longer in South Africa, and a lot has changed about who I perceive myself as. And it's not necessarily bad things or good things. It's just that it's changing, and it's just like I need to allow myself to be the next best thing, you know what I mean, and stop holding myself hostage because of the ideas of who I think I am, all the narratives that I've sort of like imposed on myself. And I think in a lot of ways, this sort of keeping your eye on your destination kind of like stuck with me a lot. And then also she says here, fear is choice. I think in a lot of ways she's very correct in saying that. Like, fear is all in the mind kind of thing. Everything starts with the mind. And so she says, trying new things and seeking new environments is an important part of finding what you love too. Because you love may not look anything like what you grew up around, you may have to step outside your present circumstances to find your passion. Again, this is just like, girl, you are talking to me right now, okay? I think in a lot of ways, I think if anyone can sort of like relate to this passage right here, it's like when you change environments, you automatically sort of like try to shape yourself in that space and try to form new ideas, and for me it's always good ideas, and it's just really about embracing it. So there are a lot of quotes in this book that I'm just gonna like write and hang up on my wall or whatever, because I think it's also just quite a like this book feels like a motivational book of some sort. But I love this book. Even just the aesthetic of it is just it's just perfect. It's just perfect for the kind of content that is written in here. Like the symbolism, everything is just working. I think it's a well thought out. Okay, so I'm gonna give this book a 7 out of 10, because I think it wasn't that great, because it was it was just repetitive, and I think for me that was slightly annoying as a reader. I was just like, you said this, but you're saying it again but in a different way, and it's just like, you've said this 10 times before. So I think it's a 7. Yeah, but it's a good book. It's a good book. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Guys, I would really love to up and bump the cheese up in terms of the numbers of subscription on my channel. So please do share with your friends. Don't be scared. I would really appreciate it. I know there are readers out there. We just need to find them and tell them there's a channel that sort of like caters to the kind of content that they would like to listen to. But otherwise, oh, what else did I want to say? I want to say that this is my favorite item of clothing in the whole wide world. So I've had this for like 8 years now, and I'm probably gonna have it till I have like kids or whatever. Like it's just gonna be mine forever. My mom hates it. I love it. I don't care. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.